All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about how you can build your very own tireless, completely emotionless, digital financial assistant that just works for you 24/7. Now, this isn't just about a cool new tool. It's about fundamentally shifting your entire approach to investing, moving from that stressful, hands-on process to one that's logical and totally automated. Just imagine for a second waking up to a notification like this. While you were sleeping, your personal little assistant was watching the market, saw a perfect little opportunity, and made a tiny, perfectly calculated investment. You didn't lose any sleep, you didn't panic, nope. Your system just executed its plan with pure logic.
So is this some kind of sci-fi fantasy? Something that only the big Wall Street hedge funds get to play with? Not anymore. Not even close. We're in a wild time where pretty much anyone with an internet connection can build this exact kind of AI agent for themselves.
To really get why this is such a game changer, we have to be honest with ourselves about the single biggest thing that gets in the way of successful investing. And it isn't a lack of knowledge or some secret formula. It's us. It's our own human psychology.
This really gets to the core of it. The huge difference between most investors and the ones who are consistently successful boils down to this. Most of us try to rely on willpower while the wealthy rely on systems. And here's the catch. Willpower is what you'd call a depreciating asset. It just runs out. A system, though, that's a compounding asset. You build it once, and it works for you forever.
See, when you rely on willpower, you're left wide open to what you could call the two horsemen of poor financial health. First up, as you see here, is good old procrastination. After a long day, your brain's just tired, right? So you put it off. I'll invest next week, you tell yourself. But that week, it never seems to come. The second horseman is loss aversion, and this one's a biggie. Psychologically, the pain of losing feels twice as bad as the joy of winning. That feeling triggers this primal fear and leads to panic selling at the absolute worst time imaginable.
And this right here just lays it all out perfectly. You've got David, the manual investor. He starts off all motivated, but then, well, life happens. He gets nervous, he hesitates, and he misses out. Now look at Aisha, the AI architect. She spends maybe one weekend setting up her system, and then her agent just automatically buys the dips, grabbing opportunities with cold, hard logic while she's off living her life. After a year, the difference between them is, well, it's staggering. Okay, so how do we become more like Aisha? Let's get practical. Let's break down what an AI agent actually is, and I promise you it is not nearly as complicated as it sounds.
An AI agent is really just a piece of software that connects three simple parts. You've got the brain, that's just the logic and the rules that you set. Then you have the eyes, which is just the live market data it's watching. And finally, you've got the hands, which connects to your brokerage account through something called an API. Just think of an API as a secure messenger that lets your software push the buy or sell button for you. Brain, eyes, hands. That's really it. And here is the four-step plan to actually build your own. First, you secure the hands by picking a brokerage that has an API. Easy enough. Second, you set the eyes by hooking into a market data feed. Third, you program the brain. And this is the cool part. You don't need to be a coding genius for this. You can define all your rules using simple, no-code, drag-and-drop tools. And last, and this part is absolutely non-negotiable, you do a sandbox test. You run your little agent with paper money first to make sure it works exactly like you think it should. Now, before you run off and start building, you got to know that this comes with some responsibility. It is incredibly powerful, but it's also really easy to make some rookie mistakes. So let's cover the common traps and, more importantly, how to avoid them. Okay, let's run through the 5 biggest traps to avoid. Number 1, overcomplicating the strategy. Seriously, a simple plan that actually runs is 1,000,000 times better than some complex genius plan that never gets off the ground. 2, ignoring fees. You have to make sure your broker's fees aren't just going to eat up all your profits from small, frequent trades. 3, the overfitting trap. This just means designing a strategy that works perfectly on past data, because that's no guarantee for the future. 4, neglecting a stop loss. You have to program hard limits to protect your money. And finally, number 5, emotional intervention. Do not pull the plug just because you get scared. You built the system to avoid that exact feeling in the first place. So why does all this matter so much? Because you're not competing against other humans anymore. Over 70% of all trades on major stock exchanges are already being executed by machines. They don't sleep, they don't feel fear.
If you're still investing manually, you're literally bringing a knife to a laser fight. So how do you start safely? Well, here are 4 really smart strategies. You could build a lazy DCA AI that just buys a tiny, fixed amount of an index fund every single day. Or maybe a fear buyer protocol, which automatically invests when the market starts to panic. You could even build a spare change sweeper. But honestly, the most crucial point here is the last one. Whatever you choose, start small. Fund your agent with an amount that you are completely 100% comfortable losing. The goal here is not to get rich overnight. The goal is to build your confidence in the system that you created.
Adopting this technology isn't really just about the tool itself. It's about a fundamental shift in your entire financial mindset. It's about going from being a laborer to becoming a designer.
So which role are you going to choose? Most people are financial bricklayers, manually placing each and every brick every single day. It's exhausting. The architect, on the other hand, designs the blueprint once. They build the system that places the bricks for them. They are no longer trading their time for growth. They're trading systems for growth.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. True passive income isn't about finding that one magical, lucky bet. It's built by doing small, smart things with relentless consistency over a long time. And that consistency? That's the hardest part for us humans. But it's exactly what an automated system is built for. It is the ultimate tool for guaranteeing consistency.
So the question I'll leave you with is this. Are you going to wake up tomorrow and do the same old thing, manually check the markets, fall into those same emotional traps we just talked about? Or are you going to spend a weekend designing the very assistant that builds your wealth for you while you sleep? Because as we've seen, that choice is now, for the first time ever, truly yours to make.